G'day guys, I'm Joe Nation. I race for Polar Bicycles in the Enduro World Series with teammate Lee Johnson. Unfortunately at the moment I'm out with a broken wing, so it gives me plenty of time to check out some of the other bikes in Polar's range. And this week for you guys I'm going to be reviewing an Evolink, Evolink 158. So we'll get that on the way and see how it goes.
Firstly, I thought I'd check out the ordering process. Poles sell direct and are shipped all over the globe. Pretty simple really. Go online and choose your model, colour, build and brake lever preferences and put it in your cart. Just like this. Thanks mate.
So the courier's just arrived. It's dropped off 2 boxes. Probably only took about a week or so to ship from Finland to New Zealand. First box we got cranks, forks, frame, handlebars and bits and bobs. It's pretty awesome, a small box, but as these frames fold up by just removing one pivot bolt, it makes it really handy to ship around. And in the second box we've got the wheels, which were full of sealant and just had to be pumped up and they were good to go. So this is the T build. It's the most affordable in the range, about 3,400 euros. Lyric, RC fork, Monarch Plus, race face componentry, and GX drivetrain. Usually comes with the DT 1900 wheels, but as Lee and I and the team race Mavic wheels, we've got a set of those to throw on. So to build this up, I've just got an 8mm, a multi-tool and some snips to get rid of these zip ties. I think that should be enough. By the looks of things, I should be done within half an hour. Actually, I completely overestimated. That took 25 seconds. Alrighty, so the Evolink's built, it's looking good, no dramas. And today we are going to get out in the trail, start coming up with some ideas about how it's riding. I'm quite excited to get out. It's the first Evolink I've ridden, and I've actually only ridden the CNC pole bike. A lot of people may be wondering why someone who races pole bikes is reviewing one of their own, but I think it's important. The CNC bikes are a fair bit more expensive, and there will be a few people out there that are weighing up whether to go for the extra cost or not. What are the pros and cons? I think this will help them out a lot. There's obviously some difference to take into consideration. This being an EWS race bike, it's got some pretty flash parts in it, whereas this being the cheaper build, just with the GX and the basic model stuff, I'll have to take that into account, I think. Also, this is 160mm on the front, 158 on the back, and the stamina obviously 180. Alright, just quickly before we get out on the tracks, some of the features of the frame. There is internal cable routing if you can. I personally just run it external, simple to change. There's plenty of clearance in the back tyre, run whatever size you want there for sure. And also you can go from non-boost to boost hub very easily, and a kit that changes that comes with the frame.
So I'm expecting it to be relatively straightforward to feel at home in the Evolink after my time in the Stamina. The bigger question is how big of a change will it be for someone used to riding a more traditional geometry? To help me answer that, my mate Grover was super keen to put his hand up and help me out.
Here at the top with Grey Boy. He's ready to drop in for the maiden voyage. Yeah. Woo! Looks slick! Alrighty, so we've just finished the first lap on the Evolink. Pretty tough conditions out there, as you can, well, I can't see that. It's wet and it's slick. But it's not very close, how did it go for you, Grable?
Yeah, so it felt balanced. It felt natural straight away. At the bottom of the run, I was getting confident to start throwing it around, and go a bit faster. It was pretty quiet too.
Sweet. And how's the fit?
Yeah, so straight away the bike fit felt comfortable in the size medium. I guess I usually buy size large bikes, but I'm just under 180 centimetres tall, so it makes sense to ride a size medium. That's a good fit.
Alright, so we're off to ride some other tracks. What are you expecting?
Yeah, well, the first warm-up run felt pretty good, and we've just adjusted a few things just to make it feel a bit better. And yeah, I'm looking forward to riding some more technical tracks and pushing the boundaries. See how it goes.
Sweet. So that 78-degree seat angle, you won't be used to that, grey boy. How's that feeling on the climb?
Pretty comfy, eh? Yeah, I'm like right above the cranks going up the hill.
So after the first warm-up lap, Grable was ready to get the bike on the clock and see how it stacked up against his own bike. The track we chose was about a minute and a half of flow trail, nothing too technical, a few rocks, a few roots.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
It was pretty clear to me that Grable was enjoying himself. Even in the slick conditions, he seemed to be confident to push, and at the end of the first time lap, his grin said it all. The last thing I wanted was this weekend worry to put me to shame.
133. So we've just finished with the free laps timing here. We got Grey Boy, and how did it go for you?
Quite surprising actually. The track's been drying out as we've been going this afternoon, and it's now it's pretty dry now actually. I put in quite a good lap on my bike, and thought I'd beaten the time that I'd done on the pole, but surprisingly I am about 1.5–2 seconds back on a 1:31 down the track we're running. So yeah, very surprised actually. I thought I was definitely going to beat the pole time. So it's interesting.
And so where do you think that time was?
Hard to say really. I think the suspension is a lot smoother. You can carry speed over the bumps a bit better with the pole Evolink. That's all I can say really. It's sort of puzzling. Yeah.
Now seems like a good time as any to discuss the suspension design of the Evolink. Many people think pole bikes' main drawcard is their modern geometry or the engineering involved in the CNC frames. However, often overlooked is the suspension system, which includes two short linkages, the lower of which rotates around the bottom bracket, which massively minimises chain kickback. Beginning with a medium amount of anti-squat and increasing progressivity throughout the stroke, it's a buttery ride that needs to be tried. Now it was my turn to get on the clock and see how the Evolink stacked up. No messing around, my first ride was timed and I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, just finished the first run on the Evolink. 2.5 seconds off my time on the stamina. Felt good, felt fun. Just think I was getting a little bit more battered around with a little bit less travel. But the geometry was still super reassuring. Felt good. give it another go.
Over the next few days I lapped out the bike park and found that the Evolink shared most of the characteristics that I love about my Stamina. The long 455mm chainstays give the bike an incredible balance and grip to the front wheel, especially on the size medium bikes, both having 480mm reaches. The steep seat angle puts the rider in a far better body position up the climbs and seems to repel you forward. Unfit riders will be right into this feature. A combination of the suspension design and the longer wheelbase smoothed out the trail features, including the bike park's roughest braking bumps. Getting creative to avoid the rough sections isn't necessary. Manualling does take a bigger pull than the conventional bike, but once the front wheel is up there, there's a much bigger balance point, making it super easy to keep the front wheel up. On the trail, manualling from feature to feature is simple by using the terrain to assist in the pull. The bike rode playfully and was a big fan of the jumps. For those of you who assume that an aggressive geometry like this is aimed at the enduro races, you'd be wrong. Amateur riders benefit from the massive stability the long wheelbase adds. The longer chainstay improves the weight to the front wheel no matter how bad someone's riding technique is. In all the videos of beginners' arms crumbling and sending them over the bars, well, this 64-degree head angle definitely minimises the chances of this. Tight corners can take some adjusting too, but they're certainly not slower on the longer wheelbase. Massive traction and stability mean you can lean more, and the bike feels calm in the slower, tighter sections, but can often be mistaken for slow. But get it on the clock and you'll find out it's surprisingly fast. Not to mention, high setup lines are far more achievable with the confidence-inspiring geometry. In comparison, the Stamina 7075 CNC'd alloy has a stiffer ride feel that seems to reward accurate riding with serious speed carrying. Along with the bottomless 180mm of front and rear travel, means that with regard for enduro racing, there will be a definite edge.
Alrighty, so I think we ticked off all the key points there. I thought we'd finish off with another chat with Greyboy. So what were the main aspects that you liked about the Evolink?
First of all, the seated position when you're pedalling is awesome. You can just get right above the cranks, and yeah, going back to my normal bike, it felt like I was sitting way further back on the bike and pushing forward on the pedals rather than pushing down. So yeah, having the steep seat angle really helps for pedalling, and I'm sure it saves you energy through the day.
Yeah, pretty efficient setup for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else you noticed, big differences between this and your other bike?
Yeah, well, the suspension, super supple. My current bike is not too bad at ploughing over rough stuff, but this bike is just on another level really. You can just concentrate on the trail ahead of you rather than worrying about absorbing the hits with your body. Yeah, the bike does a lot of the work for you. It's awesome.
Sweet, well that's a pretty convincing roundup from you then. People may think I've rigged that review.
No, not at all. I had some reservations about how the bike might ride initially, and just thought maybe the geometry was a little bit overhyped, but in riding it, it's actually performs so well, and I just couldn't find any negative points about the way it rides. So overall, just a really enjoyable and easy to ride bike.
And the final question I have to ask is, would you buy one?
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.